prevent both mass shootings and everyday gun violence in the US?
I'm absolutely, I'm a hunter, I own guns, I enjoy them, and I believe in the Second Amendment. But the problem isn't the guns, it's the people holding the guns. And if we can't address that problem, we're never gonna solve this issue. The people who need healthcare, mental health care, we need to have a system in place where we can evaluate people that have mental conditions and deny access to guns to that population. So, I don't think it's going to be an easy solution, but it's one that absolutely we need to work on.
Thank you. The same question.
Look, we know that criminals, regardless of the laws that are put in place, they're always going to use their guns. They don't care about the law. We can tighten the laws up, make it harder to own a gun, but they're still going to have guns, and they're still going to go out and they're going to still commit crimes. So why do we punish law-abiding citizens and take away their Second Amendment rights? We shouldn't. We know that there are consequences of gun violence, and we do know that we need to take some steps, some actions, but taking away our gun rights or tightening them up so that we can't carry is not the answer.
Thank you. And the same question for you, Lisa.
We need to take care of the underlying causes. I am pro the Second Amendment. That's one thing that have a problem with me, is that I'm pro Second Amendment. I was raised in one of the most rural areas of the Rio Grande Valley, so I understand the need for property owners to be able to have guns to defend their property, but too, as a survivor of domestic violence, I completely understand the need for us women to be able to protect ourselves. However, the steps that need to be taken to ensure, first of all, I think we need to do some kind of research on what the effect of presence of law enforcement will have on our students. And is it a positive thing to have a law enforcement presence in our students, amongst our students? Is it going to make a divide between students and law enforcement? That may or may not be a good thing. We need more studies about that. But what we need to do is we need to vet these people. There's going to be mental health issues, et cetera, et cetera.
Thank you. Same question for you, Angela. What steps do you support, if any, to prevent both mass shootings and everyday gun violence in the US?
I am for the Second Amendment. I would say one statement that should be allowed to go area, but I believe that we need to just, I'm going to support, I would take this and I don't really understand what the answer is to a certain, why mass shootings are happening. I would listen to the parties that need to be involved, whether it's from mental issues, if it's police departments, or if it's these partners that, whoever is involved. I'm willing to listen to them and provide the resources.
Hey guys, I wish their audio was a little better. So really have to focus on your listening because the audio feed is not meant for streaming.
People just feel that they just kill somebody. It's a difficult issue, but it does need to be addressed through education resources.
Thank you. Thank you. And the same question for you, Dan.
I support the Second Amendment, right? As a young veteran here on this stage, on this side, I love shooting. And I always have. Expert marksman, the military always qualified. Now,
There goes Vanessa playing with her damn phone instead of. What a joke.
Criminals, like my Republican counterpart say, they're going to get their hands on them, right? So you need to make sure to be able to defend yourself. Now, the issue is mental health. We need to make sure that we expand healthcare so that we can get people that mental health that they need and deserve. We also need to expand background checks, right? If there's any kind of like soft flag, so we can continue to do more research on that. And in addition to that, we need to make sure that we have the proper firearms training for those that are equipped with weapons, but we also need to make sure that we're training our law enforcement community to be able to de-escalate what they call verbal judo, but making sure that they're also properly.
Thank you very much.
properly
Same question to you. What steps do you support, if any, to prevent both mass shootings and everyday gun violence in the US?
I remember several years ago, there was a shooting in Columbine, Colorado. I think most of you remember it. And I was really horrified. 2 days after the incident, on the radio, they said that the entire community was surprised because these two young men came from very successful parents. My immediate response, I'm yelling at the radio, what does successful mean? And so I think the real problem, as many people have pointed out here, the real problem is not a gun problem. I am absolutely for the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment was actually written to protect us from an overbearing government. And so I'm absolutely for the Second Amendment. But what I think the problem is a health problem. And the steps that I would take is I would put the Ten Commandments back in working laws. I would ask prayer to be back in school. I would ask God back in our lives. Because us pushing God out is what's causing the moral decay of this country. And we're seeing kids attack their own parents. Right here in the Rio Grande Valley, we're seeing parents attack their own kids. It's not just school shootings, it's happening in the home. And so that's where we need to get back to, as pointed out earlier, our Judeo-Christian values that lift up the morals of this country.
The same question for you, Michelle.
This question in South Texas is a little different than I expect others answering around the country. And I myself did grow up being taught how to properly handle a gun. And I practice with my friends and loved ones because I truly believe that it is part of the culture and it's part of our home life. I believe it's important that we do not allow big donors like the NRA, the billion-dollar gun manufacturers, to be influencing our laws and our policies that make it harder and more dangerous for families and for people like us to properly have safe gun measures in place. We definitely need to expand background checks, and we need to look into red flag laws and make sure that we are keeping our community safe. I just want to say one more thing as a small business owner. Every time the state of Texas changes a law on how to have open carry and when you're allowed to carry guns, really deeply affects our small businesses. So that's another perspective that I will be bringing to leaders.
And the same question for you, Michelle.
Having previously an A rating from the NRA endorsed by the Gun Owners of America, I think education is a very important key here. I think if there is a person, give me an analogy with mental health, who injures somebody in an automobile, that's the issue right there. We don't take the automobile away from law-abiding citizens. We don't do that. And it's the same with, I would encourage the proper classes for people to be more aware on carrying. And it's important to know that, you know, in a class like that, you understand the last thing you want to do is shoot someone. But it's critical that one responsible gun owner to put down a lone shooter in seconds and save lots of lives. I think it's important to protect that.
Thank you very much. And the same question for you, Michelle.
Yeah, you're right. Something like this, they should be fed into. They should be plugged in to get good audio.
Stated this evening, I also think that education is a key in avoiding mass shootings. I think the expansion of background checks is important. I think it's important that we have people with mental health issues that are flagged properly when they go to gun shows and they want to purchase guns on the spot. I think it's important that as a community we come together and we talk about these issues. So those are the steps I would take in order to prevent tragedies such as what we just spoke about.
Thank you. And the same question for you, Sarah.
The Second Amendment right, like Ryan said, was initially thought of and put in there to make sure that we can protect ourselves against the government. I think this question focuses too much on the symptoms and not the causes. On November 5th, 2017, First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs
a shooting there. The shooter was mentally ill. 26 people lost their lives that day. That is my church. I teach Sunday school at that church. That is a wonderful family of believers. And that was a tragic, tragic thing. But those people are overcomers. Evil did not win that day. Evil will not win today. Evil will not win tomorrow. We have to have the courage to look evil in the eye and say, no more. Are there things that the federal government can do to help lessen the mental health issue? Yes, we can put more money into mental health issues. And as individuals, we need to be responsible
Thank you.
individually.
Thank you, sir. That completes all the questions we have time for today. It doesn't complete all the questions. I think we've done 8 out of 18. We're really sorry we didn't get to the other 10, but we didn't allow ourselves enough time. But I want to thank all the candidates. We've just got the closing remarks now. 1.5 minutes, 1 minute 30 seconds for each candidate. We started with the Democrats when we were open, so let's start with the Republicans with the closing remarks. Again, we're going on ballot order as the ballot came out for Hidalgo County. So that means you guys are starting your closing remarks.
Thank you very much, and thank you for being here. It shows that you guys are interested in what's going on, and it gives me a good feeling knowing that you guys care about your own community, which is great. When you say to Congress as your next congressman, I'm going to be your voice out there. I want to represent you. I'm not going to, I'm going to negotiate and talk to all the people out there, Republicans, Democrats, everybody. But ultimately, I'm going to tell them, hey, I need to check with my constituents. Those are my bosses. So I want to make sure that they don't forget that. So I think I can put my experience to work, 25 years working for Border Patrol. I dealt with all kinds of people. I got great experience. I think it completely qualifies me for this position. And, I want to put, everything like God first, life, and family. I think it's very important. Those are the core values that this country was founded on. And the Constitution, it's very critically important to support, defend our Constitution, strong border, strong military, smaller, more efficient government, and cut some of the wasteful spending, and get back to being energy independence is critically important. We need to support our teachers, our law enforcement, our seniors, and our veterans. So, being a law enforcement person, I will be the strongest advocate of Border Patrol, strong advocate of DPS and all our state and local law enforcement. I want to put District 15 first and America first. Thank you.
Thank you. And the same to you, Benjamin.
First of all, thank you all for allowing me the time to be able to share with you what I've learned in my professional life as an administrator in public schools and how it actually applies in a broader sense when we're discussing the problems that our nation is facing today. It seems like when we send people to Washington, D.C., oftentimes they're just more concerned about climbing that social ladder and more concerned about how they're going to do or what they're going to do to fundraise for the next campaign or get on TV or become a celebrity. So we need to ask this question: what happened to congressmen that are creating actual solutions for actual problems for American taxpayers? And we have people that are already bought, that are already made commitments, that are running. So we need to think wisely about who we choose to send to Congress. And when you come up to me, you shake my hand, we're going to talk about the issues that are important to you. I will listen to you. And you will know that a lot of times these professional politicians, they're not very good at listening. They're really good at talking and not very good at listening. And that's one thing that I'm good at, is listening to other people. So I'm Angela Churchill. Listen to Principal to Congress, because I can promise you that I will never allow a passing grade on my watch.
Thank you. And your closing remarks, Angela?
Thank you for being here and giving me this opportunity. I just want to let you know that I'm going to put America first, and I would like to be, for you to understand that I will show leadership in everything that has to do with America. America has to be first, and we've got to get our economy back rolling, independence, and make America great. That's just, that's the basic. And I know Trump says that maybe I think everybody, America has to be great at the beginning. And We have to make it where everybody can succeed in America. And I will never keep running police. I've worked with so many police officers, and like I said, I will not keep running police. I will protect all God, the Second Amendment, guns. And I think that one of the issues that I feel that we need to really, because my brother here is illegal immigration. I hear everybody talking about the majority are from this area, but the impact that it has up in North, everywhere in the country. And I think that the solution is politicians keep on saying, well, we're going to secure the border. We have to secure the border. But don't use that as an excuse, because the root of it is E-Verify. E-Verify all jobs, including not just the state and federal jobs, but all jobs such as construction, hotels, restaurants, but the bulk of illegal immigration is being house or labor. We need to stop that. And you need to challenge your candidates and make them do E-Verify for all jobs. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you. Ryan Grande, running for Congress for CD 15. I've lived up and down this district. I know this district well, and I look forward to serving you to be your public servant. I think there are too many people in Washington that are in it for themselves. I'm in this to serve you. I think that my track record speaks for itself, what I've already done, not the promises that I'm going to sit up here and make. I have served this community. I've built homes in this community. I've stopped the food pantry in both McAllen and Mission. I have served this community well. I'm not saying that to brag about myself. I'm saying that to say that I am a public servant. I look forward to serving you. I mention my faith a lot because I believe that's the core of who I am. And again, I get my conservative values from my Lord. God has created an incredible planet. He's created incredible people. You see the diversity sitting up there, which to me is a beautiful thing. But God backs away and lets us make our own choices. And lets us choose what we want and how we're going to appropriate our lives. And I believe that's the job of the federal government, is to sit back and allow us, unfortunately sometimes to fail, but to learn from those failures. That's what we do as parents. That's what our federal government needs to do. The 10th Amendment says that the federal government only has those rights given to it by the state. The state should be the power, not the federal government. And my job is to go to Congress and keep the government off your back and out of your life, so that you can live a more appropriate life. My name is Ryan Krause. I look forward to serving you in Congress.
Thank you, ma'am. Right. Your closing remarks, Mark?
One time in 2017, I ran 7 marathons on 7 continents in 7 days. I like a challenge. But this time, I'm not doing this to challenge myself. I'm doing it to challenge Washington, D.C. What we need are leaders such as what you see up here. That's what we need. We need somebody with solutions over the politics. Someone that can hit the ground running at the start, already has some ideas of what laws they're going to put in, or try to get through, and somebody that has that kind of endurance, of course, to do it every day until you get it done for the people. We need leaders, not cheerleaders, but there's not a leaders. So we need somebody that will say to even a Speaker of the House, I'm sorry, but that's not what Gracie wants. And then they'll say, who's Gracie? And I'll say, exactly. People in DC have been there 5, 10, 50, 30 years. They're not up to that challenge. They haven't solved the problems. So I ask for your trust and your precious vote. My name is Mauro Garza. Mauro Garza for Congress.com. I appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
Again, my name is Judge Sarah Cannon. I've been serving 12 years as a Justice of the Peace Judge. I've been working in local government. I attend Commissioner's Court meetings. I put together a budget. I'm a department head. I have employees. I have so much experience now, and I really appreciate and I thank God for those experiences. In the Declaration of Independence, towards the end of the document, before it lists all the 27 grievances, it says, all experience hath shown that mankind is more disposed to suffer, while evil
preferable than to right themselves by abolishing or changing that government to which they have become accustomed. And unfortunately, I think we as Americans have become too accustomed to a government that wants to tell us what to do, where to go, how to do it, how often, and just way too overbearing. I think we need to turn back the hands of time, go back to what our founding fathers intended for our country to be like, and have more personal responsibility, more fiscal responsibility, be responsible, and get government out of my pocketbook, get government out of my personal health care. I have personal responsibilities, you have personal responsibilities, and I think we need to pick up that mantle and do it. Stop looking to the federal government. I may be the congresswoman of no, but no new taxes. You cannot take away my basic rights. You cannot have my health care.
Thank you. Thank you. And now we're on to the Democrats. Closing remarks, 1 minute, 30 seconds each. Let's start with Michelle.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me tonight for this conversation and all of us here. I am the Pueblo's candidate, and I'm asking for your vote and your support as I'm seeking for the Democratic nomination to represent our beautiful district of Texas 15. I am proud to be supported not only by the votes, but also by the United Farm Workers Union, and also by Wendy Davis, as well as the Young Texas Democrats. And our work does not stop there. I'm asking everyone in this room and everyone watching online to join our team. We have only been in this race for 2 months, and I'm asking you to give me the chance to keep doing this work through November and into Congress, because I know that what we are doing is healing our community, because we are broadening the way that we're having conversations about the issues that we're facing and making sure that Congress understands that the realities that we face are not as complicated as they try to make it seem, and that we have urgent needs that need to be met now. And so that's why I'm asking you to join me and visit me online at michelletx15.com. Y vamos por 15. Gracias a todos.
Thank you. Amazing.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you to the Chamber for hosting this event. It was definitely lively and much appreciated. My name is Dr. Elisa Alvarado, and I'm your candidate for Texas Congressional District 15. A little bit about me: I am from Far Texas. I grew up here in the Rio Grande Valley. I went off to school. Initially, I thought I wanted to be a physician, and then I took a government class and decided that public service was for me. I've always had the support of my mom and my dad and my family. We grew up as migrant farm workers. When I was young, living in the state of Washington, we didn't speak any English. So at that time, there wasn't anywhere to put little kids that didn't speak any English except for special ed. So I got put in special ed, and afterwards, they finally decided to have a bilingual program. These are the types of issues and these are the types of topics that we're going to tackle in DC. I'm an educator at heart, and I have the passion to do the work for District 15. I'm asking for your vote and your support. Dr. Elisa Alvarado. Thank you.
Thank you. John?
Thank you. So I've never held political office. To date, I'm not a politician. I guess if I get elected, I will be. But I tell you one thing, I'm gonna go to Washington with a businessman mind. That is who I am. I'm a contractor, I'm an engineer, I'm a developer, I'm an attorney. Okay, I do infrastructure. I know the needs of our community. So I expect to go to Washington and take care of us. I'm gonna roll up my sleeves, I'm gonna get to work, and I'm gonna get to work for who? I'm gonna get to work for my constituents. I'm not gonna go to work for me. I'm not gonna go to work to do what I want. I'm gonna come down, I'm gonna have town halls, and I'm gonna see the people and ask them, guys, this is the legislation that's before us. What do you think? What do you want to do? It's not my vote in Washington, it's your vote. I've been up and down all the way to Seguin and back and talked to the precinct chairs, sheriffs, different people in higher positions in all the counties. And guess what? They have the same problems that we have. We're all in this together. We need to work at it together. And so when I get to Washington, I'm going to do what we need to do for us, okay? I'm a family man. I'm going to look families. What's best for our families, our teachers, our law enforcement, our border patrol. Those people have families that need to be cared for, and that's what we look after. Juntos podemos hacer un cambio. Por favor, readmeforcongress.com. Look it up.
My name is Vanessa Stephenina. I'm gonna hold my phone because that's where it all started for me, and most of my people are watching me right now, my voters. I want to thank all of the people that are here for all of these Excuse me? For all of these people that are here, thank you so much for refraining from applauding, because that says a lot, because that was one of the rules. It says a lot about the team and the candidate, the ones that actually follow that rule. Also, all the questions that I didn't get to answer, I'll answer them on my Facebook page. Don't worry about that. You're gonna get my answers in depth. I have been a nurse for 25 years, which means I have the ability for a quarter of a century. I have identified issues, and I have applied and implemented solutions to those issues. So when people tell me that I don't have experience doing that, I have experience doing that. My father is a 20-year veteran of the armed forces. So believe me when I tell you that veterans' issues are my biggest priority, one of my biggest priorities. My son was one of 2.5 million people under the direction of Ruben Hinojosa, who failed to recognize that 2.5 million children were not getting special aid, special education. When Texas ignored me, I brought down the U.S. Department of Education.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and please follow me on my page. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ruben, your closing remarks.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Cynthia, Richard, Steve, for hosting, and all your staff that helped out. Thank you for joining us tonight and becoming an informed voter. And to my Republican colleagues across the aisle, it's great meeting you all. Now, you know my story. I come from London. I was born and raised here, raised by a hardworking grandmother and father who instilled the value of hard work and ethics and knew the importance of good education. They knew that education would break the bonds of poverty. And that's why I went to college and I became a teacher. I'm the only licensed teacher up here. I don't have a cush job in some administration. I was on the front lines in the classroom, teaching your sons and daughters, over 1,000 students, chemistry and physics, right? When my country needed me, I volunteered to go to Afghanistan. I didn't go for the money, I did it for duty. One of my favorite quotes is Martin Luther King that says, the ultimate measure of man is not where he stands at times of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. And that's exactly it. This is a call of duty for me to help serve you. District 15, the same way that I volunteered for Afghanistan, it's another form of duty here, right? And I've run in 2016 too, when it was hard. Right? I spent zero money then, but because it's a call. I didn't try to run for judge for 6 months or 8 months and then didn't get traction and wanted to jump, right? This is a calling, and I would be honored to serve you all. Remember, leaders.
They should have let Vanessa speak last so they could save that microphone. Ugh. Got cooties on it now.
Thank you. I'd like to ask everyone in the audience for a round of applause for all the candidates for answering the questions and giving us such in-depth responses. It's been a great conversation. Please, round of applause for all the candidates. One more thing from me, for most people at home that enjoyed this, we care about all the congressional seats in South Texas. Just as this is an open seat, there's an open seat in District 34. Tomorrow evening, at the same time, we'll be doing the same thing, another candidates forum. But now I'm going to pass you over to Sylvia Zaklinski from Hispanic Chamber.
Thank you to everybody for attending, not only all of the contestants, which my hat's off to you all for answering some tough
The contestants.
questions. But again, thank you all. all, because I hope that by listening to some of these candidates, you have now gotten to know who they are, how they feel about certain topics, and what they bring to the table, which is very important to us, because they are going to be representing you. And that's what we feel the Hispanic Chamber had to do, is educate the public, not just because they're Democrats or they're Republicans, period. These people are going to be representing District 15. So it's best that you get to know them all. Please take the time to approach them in a bit as they come down, and we get to greet them. And again, thank you all for coming. And again, thank you all to thank our sponsors, STC, UTRGV, my goodness, Texas Gas Service, thank you, Texas Gas Service, and of course, Rio Grande Guardian. Thank you so much. And again, please feel free to contact our office if you need anything, and also.
Oh, man. You know, I'm going to look for her live because she knows she's going to go live right after this. You know who we're talking about.
In Harlingen, Convention Center. Again, thank you all. Be safe, and don't forget, wear your mask if possible. Thank you all. Be safe.
All right, guys, I'll be back a little bit later. I will rebroadcast the event as soon as they make it available, and I'll be back on tonight. All right.